Good morning. Today's Saturday, so I'm, clad appropriately in my weekend garb. Today we're going to finish up the books, and then we're going to do the literary terms assignment, and then I'm going to go probably do some meal prep down in the kitchen, maybe boil some eggs and stuff. So let's do that. Hi-Fi Fight Club and Heavy Vinyl. They are really cute little comics that my friend Kel Tate got me for Christmas. It's very exciting. They're about this girl like rock band who also fights crime, and it's set in the 90s, so it's very like grunge and like hip and cool. Really enjoyed reading these first four of them. Probably gonna see about picking up the rest of the collection when they come out in volumes. I used to be obsessed with Charm Club Unicorn. I know that there's other ones. I only ever read this one. I was obsessed with this book when I was a kid. This is one of the ones that I would just reread and reread and reread. Oh my goodness. I like kid Philomena loved this book. Cloning Miranda, another one that I stole from my middle school. Miranda has it all. Beauty, brains, talent, perfect health. Then one day her vision gets a little blurry, and the doctor tells her it's the first symptom of a fatal genetic disease. Her parents are prepared to fight for her life with everything they have: wealth, connections, determination. Miranda won't lose her life or her sight. Instead, she'll begin to see things about her parents, about her life, that surprise her, shock her, scare her, and save her. The title is kind of the tell here, Cloning Miranda. Well, the premise is obviously Miranda gets sick. Her parents have this contingency plan where they've had clones of her made to like be organ donors for her in case she gets ill. It's, oh my goodness, it's what an insane novel to write for like young adult, like not even young adult readers, like middle grades readers. This was, again, books that blew my mind when I was a kid. This was a really great novel that I think I want to say I read it in grade 5 or grade 6. A Wrinkle in Time. Again, one of those books that I loved when I was a kid. Absolutely adored it. I read all of the books when I was younger. My favorite one, I think, is the one where Meg like goes into Charles's mind because he's like sick. That was such an interesting piece of literature. Ellen Hopkins does a lot of very interesting things with regards to like her novels are like really interestingly prosaic, but like they're made of like poet format, but they're all still like fictive, obviously. It's really interesting. I don't think I appreciated it as much as I could have when I was younger. I had a lot of trouble getting through Crank and her other novels. Secret Garden. Everybody needs a copy. Ella Enchanted. I have things to say about Ella Enchanted. I think that a lot of people give Ella Enchanted crap because the book is allegedly not as good as the movie. I think that's a lie. Personally, I think the book and the movie are both very good, but I think they're very good in different ways. I think the movie took a lot of artistic liberties with the content of Ella Enchanted because it would work better on film, and that makes a lot of sense to me. Like, Anne Hathaway as Ella, love her. I adore the Ella Enchanted movie, but I'm really angry that so many people are talking bad about it. I think that all of Gail Carson Levine's novels should be made into movies because I think way more people need to read the other ones that she wrote. But oh man, I get so fired up when people talk bad about that Ella Enchanted book. Oh my goodness. Skybreaker. It's one of the 3 Airborne novels. Airborne, Skybreaker, Starpiercer. Those, oh my gosh. I was obsessed. Like I used to just burn through like fiction, and now I feel like I have a lot of trouble, getting into new fiction series. I tend to stick with what I like, which is why I have all those House of Night novels. Like, I'm so lucky that House of Night is still going, because it's like, I know I already like those characters, but I don't know. I feel like I don't have enough room in my heart for like new characters in new series. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me. A Great and Terrible Beauty, Libba Bray. It's funny, in Kohl's, this was recommended to me by like one of the sales associates, and my mother was very suspicious. Like, either the sales associate thought I was a little older than I was, or the sales associate thought like I would read older than I was, you know what I mean? But my mother was just like, are you sure that's appropriate for my daughter? And I'm just like, it's a funny memory for me. It's a funny memory. The Break and How to Tend a Grave, I think of them as going together, even though they're not written by the same person. My mother used to get sent novels to read and review for the newspaper that she works for, the Bulletin, at thebulletin.ca. And so she would, you know, throw them at me and be like, Philomena, read these books. And so I would. Nelson Roberto, The Break. Again, I'm almost crying, like, thinking about how much I cried while reading it. This was such a good book. Oh my goodness. So I'll read the back. Watching Nonna 24/7 wouldn't be such a big deal. We could do lots of stuff together. I just had to keep her busy. Abby Lambert's plans to ski with her friends over spring break are ruined when her surgeon mother and stepfather announce they have to leave the country on an emergency medical mission. Instead of partying with her friends, Abby must stay home and look after her increasingly confused grandmother. At the nursing home where Grandma likes to play bingo, Abby runs into her notoriously aloof classmate Kyle, who volunteers there. Despite his arrogance and mysterious past, she finds herself drawn to him. Maybe staying home for spring break won't be too bad, except for Nonna's weird behavior, which seems to be escalating. Abby manages things pretty well, until one terrifying and desperate night when life as she knows it changes forever. Reading this book, it's about Abby and her relationship with her grandmother, and I was reading this book like a couple years before my nonno died, and so like with his declining health and me reading this, it just really struck me. In this novel, one of the other seniors at Abby's Nonna's nursing home calls her a wop, calls her Nonna a wop. I had never known what that word meant, even though I had been called a wop at my elementary school. And so I asked my dad, like, after I was finished reading this book, I asked my dad, like, what does wop mean? And he was like, who's been calling you that? How do you know that word? And like, he got like really like angry about it, and I didn't know why. And so he obviously explained it to me, and yeah, no, it was weird to to kind of comprehend that it was a bad word, obviously against Italian people, but like not really understanding why. All right, we're good to go. Ooh, it's egging time. Now, one of them cracked a little bit, so I'm probably going to eat that one when it comes right out of the water. Let's set the timer. Away they go. Ooh, she's a cooking. Ooh, eggs. These ones are going in the fridge. This one's going in my mouth.
Yes, perfect. Perfect.
Okay, so I don't know how this happened entirely, but at some point I forgot how much Jello I had in my cupboards, and so now I've got too many Jellos. So let's make some Jello. Now, normally I like to do what I call Jello but better, which is a packet of Jello, and then you do a cup of like herbal tea, like a fruit tea, and then you do a cup of Ribena. So the hot water in the Jello is tea, and the cold water is like a juice. And I really like that, but I'm gonna do a lemon Jello, and it's just gonna be normal because lemon Jello doesn't, the flavor of lemon Jello doesn't really take well to being made into Jello but better. Another key ingredient of Jello but better is mandarin oranges, so I'm gonna leave those out, but I just thought I would bring it up right now.
Haha, get it? Because it's Jello. Yeah, it's Jello, but it's also Jello. Ha ha ha.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna go with narrator, speaker, metaphor, enjambment, Bildungsroman. I think. Yeah, that sounds good. And yeet.
Nice.
I have not practiced alto recorder like that in a while. My mouth hurts a lot. See you guys tomorrow.